Hello everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I'm so glad that you did. I have, well, first of all, how are you all? I hope you're all doing well. We are having thunderstorms right now. So I'm hoping that the thunderstorms don't interrupt our video. I have, jumping right in because I have a lot to do and I don't want to keep you too long. I have found a new designer and her name is Daisy and she goes by French Shabby. She is on Instagram. She is on, let me just check real quick here. She's on Instagram. She has a Facebook group. And I actually met her on Instagram. And, hold on one second, please. I found her on Instagram. And she is a delight. So, her name is Daisy. And if you go and search in Facebook, French Cottage Shabby, that's what she goes by, and she has a new group, and she is just delightful. She is just, like I said, she's just starting her Facebook group, but this is one of her freebies that she gave today. Can you see that? It's a picnic basket, or any kind of basket that you'd like to, you know, fill. And she says, may your basket fill with blessings and happiness. Have a lovely week to all our members. And then this was a picture I had posted yesterday of some things I was doing. Here's another one of her freebies she gave today to the group. Let me just see if I can pull it up. This is, I think, teal 4. She's given, yeah, this is teal 4. This is 3 pages. And I think each one that she's given has been at least 3 pages. Okay. And she gives those free to the group. This is just something that she posted yesterday and just said, thank you for being here. I am just an army of one who is so grateful for your ongoing support. It truly means a lot to me, and I am blessed to have such wonderful people like you as part of my journey. And I am just elated. Like I said, I actually met her. This is her teal greens ever after. And like I said, I happened to run across her on Instagram. And I saw her work and I thought, oh my goodness. Well, come to find out, Daisy hand paints all of her digitals. And then she turns them into digitals. So everything that you get in her kits are hand painted. And then, like I said, she turns them into digitals. She is one of the most fantastic artists I've ever known. I mean, to be able to hand paint these, I'll just show you a few of the pages. I've already cut some up for a journal that I'm making. This is called Afternoon Tea, but it's actually Paris Tail Tea Gazette. And this is Signature 1. And then it comes with all of these pages in this particular kit. And I ran and bought this kit right away. And then, you know, she's just been, like I said, she's given so many different parts of this kit in the group for free. So I just used this for the cover sheet. And then I haven't put any tea stained or any papers in it yet, but I'll just flip through it real quick so I can show you the cover that I have decided to make for it, which is a little tiny bit. Yeah, I wanted to do the cover on camera so I could show you. And then there's some ephemera that I'm going to be making for this that I thought that you'd really have a lot of fun joining me in making it. Here's another page. It's like a tea plate and it's got some birds. I'm actually working on 3 journals right now. But I just couldn't wait to print this and get it printed. And I printed this on cardstock like I always do for my signature. It's only going to be a 1 signature journal. but it's going to have lots of fun elements. I've thought of a lot of different things that we can do with it that I haven't done yet on video. So let's get started on the cover, because that's going to take a little bit of time, because like I said, I did a prototype before I came on camera just to make sure it was going to work. So it does. So what you're going to need, let me move these things out of the way so they're not in the way. Excuse me. And those aren't the whole kit. That's just some of the things that I've cut up so far. Excuse my reach. And let me move my teacup here and this here, because I might need some things out of there, but I'm not sure. I'm actually going to move it over here because I won't need any laces or beads or anything right now. So, and that's called Paris Teal Tea Gazette, and you can find this in her Etsy shop. I highly recommend you join her on her Facebook group, because she gives away so many freebies. It's like every day there's another set. It's crazy. But when she retires her paintings, she turns them into digitals, and then she offers them on Etsy and in her Facebook group. And like I said, she has just started her Facebook group. So she's only got probably about 180 members, which is fantastic since she already, since she just started. But I'm just trying to spread the word for her because, like I said, she's become a dear friend. She lives in France, of course. But I didn't know that when I first met her. So that really doesn't have a lot to do with it. But I just adore the fact that she does live in France. Her mom paints as well. And yeah, she's a delight. So let's get to the cover. It's a little bit different than the one I made for, if you've been following me. Sound like I'm getting ready to sing. If you've been following me, I did a cover for a collaboration for How Boho Can You Go? And it was a little bit complicated. A lot of people had a lot of difficulty with that. So I came up with a different one, but I am still going to revisit the cover that I made for that one, just not today. This is just going to be a different cover, again, using an envelope, okay? So my envelope, unfortunately, is not 8.5 by 11, so I have to cut it. If you have an envelope 8.5 by 11, then you're great, okay? You're even more great than I am, but that's beside the point. I don't find a lot of the envelopes in the United States that are 8.5 by 11. This is just your regular size mailing envelope. You can get them at the Dollar Tree or on Amazon or what have you. I've just had a box of them forever because I use envelopes, as you know, all the time. So I'm going to need a cutter if you don't have an envelope that's 8.5 by 11. Because your signatures are 8.5 by 11, so your cover needs to be obviously about the same. So I'm not going to cut it exactly at 8.5 because I do want it a tick taller. You know what I mean? Just maybe 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch taller. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my, well, no, I'll keep my flap closed. See how there's a flap here? I'm going to keep that closed, and I'm going to measure 11. Okay, so this is 11 inches, excuse me, portrait. Okay, 11 inches long with the flap closed. You don't want to cut that off. So I'm going to cut this at 11. And then you don't want to throw that away. We might use it, we might not. We won't need it for today. Now here, I want to go, it doesn't really matter which side. For here, I want to go, it's 8.5. I want to bring it over, I want to say 8.5. I want to go 8 and, let's do 8.25. Let me just see my signatures here for a second and just measure them. Because I just want it to fit nicely, you know. I don't want it to be too small, too short. I'd prefer a little bit shorter. I mean, 8.5, well, that's 8.5. I mean, that would work. So, hold on, let me see my prototype for a second. Well, I guess 8.5 will work fine. So yeah, go ahead and cut it at 8.5. Okay, so 8.5 by 11. Now, I'm gonna go just a tick over 8.5, just to be safe. Okay, so 8.5 by 11. I did go right on the 8.5. I was gonna go a little bit over, but I didn't. So 8.5 by 11 envelope. And then you can put this away, you don't need it. Okay, so now what you have is this, okay? So what we need to do is now, well, I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Well, what you want to do is, this is 8.5 by 11, okay? Now what you want to do is you want to take this edge, not where it, you know, where it comes like this. You want to take the very edge, and you want to take it, and you want to fold it up and meet it exactly at that very edge. And you know, envelopes can be difficult, so just take your time. Sorry if my head's in the way. Okay, now I'm going to feel that edge and make sure it's really lined up good. And it seems to be. So now I'm just going to push down on the side like I have before, and push down on this side. I'm still holding the top, I'm pushing in the middle, and I'm going out with my thumbs so that everything stays lined up. Okay? And there you go. There's your cover. Not yet. Not so fast. So now what we're going to do is, here's our front. Wait a minute. No. We're going to bring this back out like so. Okay? So, here's our front, and then this is the inside, okay? So what we want to do now is, all we're going to do is we're going to cover these two pieces with whatever paper you want to use. I've already pulled some papers that I want to use. I also have something to tell you, which I'll tell you at the end if I have time. There's that. Where are the papers that I pulled from my cover? Excuse my reach. I think I put them back. I am so sorry about my reach. I did put them back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose some papers from my front and my back. Okay? So I'm going to choose this for my front, and then this will be for my back. Are they different? Yes. Okay. So the next thing you want to do, so now you've cut your envelope 8.5 by 11. Unless you already have an 8.5 by 11 envelope, then you don't need to cut it at all. Okay? All you need to do is fold it. All right? Remember, this was folded in, so you folded it like this. I'm just going to take, well, I don't need to take the bone folder yet. So you want this to be on this side, because when we close it, we're going to close it like this, okay? So now what I want to do is make sure, especially if you're using positional paper, or for example, if I was going to be using something like, excuse me, I figured out, well, I didn't figure out, we have figured out what's causing my problems, because I only have really bad issues with my allergies when I'm in my craft room. So I'm going to try and video in another room. If not, I may be off video for about a week. because I'm just trying to find something that's, you know, like if I was going to use this for my cover, I would want to make sure that that would be going the right direction. Does that make sense? But I'm not using this for my cover because I'm going to put something else on the cover besides, you know, this paper. And I thought by using this paper, it would be a lot easier for us, or for me, to explain everything to you. Okay, so this is just a regular 8.5 by 11 print that I printed from Daisy's kit. Okay, and I'll leave all of her information below. And like I said, I'm going to be flip-flopping for the next, well, until I empty my craft room. Long story. I'll be trying to talk about that in a minute. Anyway, so I just want to make sure that that's what I want for the front cover. And these are both similar. I'm going to go ahead and use this for the outside cover. So all you want to do is take your glue. I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac because it's faster for me on camera, but by all means you can use a glue stick. So I am going to just now cover this with my paper. And don't worry about this flap, you only need to cover this. Okay? And like I said, I'm working on several journals right now, so I'll be flip-flopping. But I'll really, really love you to join me because the digitals are beautiful. And all the designers are wonderful. And I have my, I'm in a celebration with Natalie at Line Art Arrow right now. And I want to finish up that journal because that ends on June 30th. So I am using my Fabri-Tac because it dries faster. That's all. You may use a glue stick or Fabri-Tac or tacky glue. My tacky glue needs to be watered down a little bit. It's just so tacky. I mean, I can barely spread it. You could use Elmer's, but it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. And you just want to make sure everything lines up evenly, and that's why I use the Fabri-Tac, because it's very forgiving and I can slide it to make sure it's nice and, you know, everything's nice and even, which it's not. There we go. And if you have a little bit extra, don't worry about it. We can cut that off because we're going to be cutting it anyway, and you'll see in a minute. Okay, so there is your first piece on, and that is going to be my cover. Okay. Excuse me, I'm so sorry for reaching. Let me see if I can pull this down a little tiny bit. And even if I don't, you know, I did it. That's why I really like to use a wetter glue, because it's a little bit more forgiving than, say, like, oh, for example, this. But this works excellent, and so does PVA. But this, for me, I need to water it down a little bit because it's very thick. So there we go. So that's on there good. Now I want to take my inside piece. I'm wondering now if I should use the same piece for the inside. I'm going to use the same piece for the inside as I did the outside. Just make sure it's going in the right direction because it does have writing. Nope. Goes this way. Does it? Nope. I guess I will use this. Not that it matters. You're not going to see it really. And you could use, you know, two different. You could use blues and pinks. You could use whatever you want. So again, you're going to cover this side. That's my old bottle. I just opened another one. My husband ordered me my glue, which he always does, and for some reason they sent the smaller bottles, which I like. So he just ordered me the larger bottles. Now you don't want to cover up there, you just want to go up to where that is. You know, this part right here, you don't want to cover that up, not yet. So you just want to make sure you get your edges. I'm not going to be sewing this. I mean, I would, but we're on camera, so we're not going to. So, my husband's doing fine. Thank you for your well wishes. I am trying to get to your comments. I know I say that all the time, but I really am trying. I may have to start reading them and like possibly giving you a heart. I hate to do that, but I just want you to know I am reading them. I'm not just, you know, if you happen to get a heart, please, please don't be offended. I mean, one of these days I'm going to bring out all my comments and read them out loud. A friend of mine, Leslie, does that every so often, and I just think it's a great idea. But if anybody has any questions, of course, I answer those right away. Like if they want to know a specific glue I'm using, or if they, you know, if they want to know a specific glue, or if they have a question about a digital, or things like that, how I stain my paper, I get to those, you know, right away, because it's fair, you know, to kind of let them know right away, because so that they can craft along, you know. I think that's very important. But Sherry and Tommy and Lori, and I mean, I could just go on and on and on. Oh, Tommy. Okay, so Tommy is another person I met by scrolling YouTube one day when I wasn't feeling well. And I came upon her channel simply by accident again. But you know what? I just feel like I'm really led to these channels and these wonderful people. So you want to glue that piece on. You've got that piece now. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me see if I can find her real quick. If I can't, I'll put everything in the information box below. Hi, Denise. I see you left a comment. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I see all these comments. Hi, everybody. I was just trying to find Tom. Oh, here she is. So it's paper crafting with Miss Tommy. Let me just turn this down. Paper crafting with Miss Tommy. She has an awesome channel and she does great work. I really enjoy her. So another person you might want to visit. I like to share channels. I like to be able to, you know, have people get inspired by other people, especially new people. Tommy's only been on for a short time. She's got, I think she just reached her 400 subscribers, so she's very excited about that. And Tommy, I am thrilled for you. I can't be happier. Congratulations, dear. But she is very, very, very sweet. So now you've got your cover, okay? So now what you want to do is you want to, I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do this because my envelope was bigger. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to, see how this, when I cut it, it was sliced? Well, that's okay because I'm going to slice the top anyway. And I'll show you why. So I'm just going to get my cutter. And I am going to take the very thinnest slice off of this that I can to open it up. And if you're confused or you have more, you know, you want to know something, just let me know. All right, so all we did was we covered the front and we covered the back of our envelope. Now, once we open the envelope, because I cut this end, when I open this envelope, I'm going to have two pieces. All right, and you'll see. Now I have two pieces, see? That's okay. I'll show you what we're going to do next. What you're going to do now is you're going to simply open this up. Now, if you had an 8.5 by 11 and you didn't have to cut it my way, when you did open it up, this would be all one piece. But because I didn't and had to cut it right here to meet my 11, I'm going to have to put some masking tape, which is fine, okay? So, I've got my masking tape. You can get it in any hardware store, or even maybe craft store. You could also use, well, you can use any kind of tape. I wouldn't use Scotch tape, but you could even use washi, just glue it down. Washi would be fine. You're going to cover it up, but washi would be fine as long as you glue the washi. And you want to make sure that those two pieces are really tight together. See, masking tape is so much like washi. It just, you know, comes right off. Except now I just messed that all up. So make sure when you do glue this and this, it's really tight, okay? And it's even. That's very important as well, okay? So now I know that it's, you know, you can barely see that seam anymore. That's how you want to glue it. And you don't want this any higher and you don't want this any lower. Am I in frame? See? Okay. So now let's glue that. I mean, not glue it. We're going to tape it. I know it looks confusing, but it really isn't. Well, for me, it isn't. I did the prototype in like 2 seconds. So, and it worked. And I'm like, okay, before I cover it, I'm turning on the camera. Like I do always. Even though I said there wasn't going to be a video today. Well, this might not go up till tomorrow. So don't worry if it doesn't go straight, as long as it's on that crease. Oh my goodness, Cheryl. Get your act together here. So just pull it tight. You want to cover it now. I mean, we're going to pull it. We're going to cover this tape, so it doesn't matter. Okay? So now I'm just going to flip this over. I'm going to just put my tape across there. Because I'm like no, I don't want to do that. I'm just gluing, I'm just taping one side. Sorry about that. I don't want to tape the other side. The other side's fine. We want to only tape one side. Okay? And I'm going to actually put two, I didn't in the prototype, obviously. I was just playing. But I am going to put 2 pieces of tape there just to be, you know, safe. Just to make sure it's down there. Good. And like I said, washi is absolutely fine as long as you glue your washi on, because you know how washi can be not sticky anymore. So now we've got this put back together. See? Here was our envelope when we covered it. All we did was we covered this, and then we took a slice off, okay? And then when we opened up, we had to put these 2 pieces back together again. So let me just put another piece of tape on that. Just, stop rushing. Somebody had told me that my videos were too long, so I'm trying very, very hard to make them shorter so that you can get as much out of them without me rushing. And you can always fast forward through some parts. You know, I know a lot of people who do that. You know, if I'm jabbering on or if I'm doing something you already know how to do, move forward to, you know, by all means, move forward. I have been monetized for YouTube, but I'm not going to be monetized, if that makes sense. I've reached enough hours to be monetized. I've reached more than an hours of viewing in a year to be monetized. But if I go monetized, then you're going to get a ton of ads, and I don't want that. It doesn't, yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, it pays me in some way, form, but it doesn't interest me. I would prefer no ads. So that's just me. I know a lot of people don't mind having ads in their videos, but I prefer just to have video and no ads. So I have had a lot of people ask me if I got monetized, and yes, I have. But when I found out what it really was about, I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. No. So I'm just going to go over that with my bone folder if I figure out where I put it. Well, it doesn't matter. I went down it good enough with my thumb. So there you go. So now what you want to do is fold it back over. Okay. And you want to now, you've got that fold there. Because, okay. So now it's put back together, right? Like this. So what you want to do now is you're just going to fold this way. Okay, open it back up. Fold it this way. And that's all you need to do. All right, I don't want to confuse you. Because now there are certain places in the back that we need to cover, but not the whole thing. Okay, so let me just get my prototype to see where I figured out where I wanted to glue and where I didn't want to put a piece of paper. Okay, so there we go. All right, now I want to have a pocket here, and I want to have a pocket here, because this is going to be the front of my journal. This is going to be the front cover, okay? So I don't want to put a pocket here. I prefer the pocket to be here. But I do want a pocket here. So here's what we're going to do. I am now going to take some paper, and I am going to make some pockets with, perhaps I'll use this. So where did I say I want my pocket? Okay, so we're going to go from the flap. We'll do that side first. Here's our flap. We want to tear this off. Yeah, go ahead and tear that off. Let's see. No, don't tear that off yet. I should have made the whole thing first. But anyway, okay. So we're going to have a pocket here. So what we want to do is just glue the paper here, here, and here. Because we're going to cut here. I mean, we're going to cut here to make the pocket. Oh, I'm like, where's my glue? So I am simply going to now take my glue, and I am going to glue it down here. And I am going to glue it down here. Not right on the crease. Not right on your fold. I should have put a pencil mark there for you. Okay, there we go. Now, well, we can make this a top pocket. That's what we'll do. So now I want my paper to go here. And I'm just going to make it a top pocket instead of a side pocket. I like top pockets better anyway, because sometimes side pockets can be difficult to get in and out of. So I just changed my mind, and that's okay. Because we can, because it's paper. We can always print another one. So we want to just tack that down. Okay? And now we have a pocket right here. Okay? But what I should have done is, I don't want that to be white. So I need to slip something in there so it won't be white. Well, I can do that after. Okay, so put a piece of paper down here. You don't really need to cover this. You know what? Let's just cover the whole thing. It's fine. Let's just cover the whole thing. So, yeah. I'm just going to cover the whole thing so I'm not confusing you. All right, so just take your paper. And then on this piece, you want to cover this whole side. You're not going to see it, so you don't have to, but I don't want to confuse you. So there you go. All right, so you've covered this, but here, you've only gone here, here, and here, because we're going to put a pocket here. I'm going to put a little circle here, and that's going to be a pocket for a large tag. Okay, a large tag will go in here. Nothing's going to go here. Now what we're going to do is take another piece of paper, which I hope I have another one of those, which I don't know if I printed to. I did. Oh, I am so lucky. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to put another piece of paper here, because I'm going to have a pocket here. I don't want to... so I want to just, again, glue here, here, and here, okay? So, here's our flap. We just glue this side across the bottom and up. Then this can be flat. This is going to be a pocket. So we're only going to glue right beside this crease here. We don't want to go all the way to the bend. So we're going to glue here, 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 and here. So that this will be a pocket as well. So now we'll just glue here. Oops. Glue across here. And go ahead and glue up here. And you can go right to the edge of this because that doesn't matter. And you want to cover your tape anyway. So yeah. Do that first and then we'll glue the other side. And I mean, I would love to measure this. I mean, to have this measure up like exact, but it doesn't bother me. You're not going to see it. So there you go. Just make sure that is right up there so that you don't, you know, see a seam. I probably should have gone over that a little bit. I think I will. I think I'm going to bring this up just a little bit, not a lot, maybe 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to glue that really tight down so that when I do fold it, it won't lift. And again, just go around your bottom and up your side. And there you have a pocket here. And we're going to have a pocket here. Okay? Okay. So then, what I think I will do is I will continue and I will glue this all the way. So this piece, because that's the back of our front cover, I am going to glue that right down all the way. I just want to pull this a little bit so it just matches up evenly. which it doesn't matter because we're going to have to slice that a teeny bit anyway. So now you've glued here, here, and here. You've glued here, here, here. You've glued this completely down. So now we're going to lift this up and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to glue here, but don't, oh yeah, no, that doesn't matter. Just glue it right down, all the way to the edge. And make sure you get all, you know, all the way to the top, because you're not sewing it. Well, I'm not, which I could, but I won't be. Or maybe I will be, I don't know. Probably not. Maybe I'll just sew some of my ephemera or whatever when I'm not on camera. Okay, so let's put that back on. And I'm using Fabri-Tac. You can use 2-in-1, 2-in-1. You can use glue stick. You can use, you know, anything you want as long as it moves, so that if you have to just, you know, slide it a bit, you still have a little bit of time to do that. Although lately my Fabri-Tac has been drying really fast. We go. So I've got my front and my inside covered. All right, but I only glued here, like I said, in here, and I only glued here and here. All right, now I'm going to do my folding. So I'm going to fold this back up like it was an envelope. All right. Just fold it back up like it was an envelope. And then you're going to fold it in half again, making sure that everything stays the way you want it to. See, by adding that piece of paper in the middle, because it's not just copy paper, it's printed paper, it's going to be a little bit harder for me to fold it, but that's okay. I mean, it's nice and sturdy now. It's great, actually. In some ways, it's a help to do it that way. So now I'll show you what I have. I now have this, okay? And I'm going to have a pocket in here. Oops. This is how it's going to go. This is why you didn't really have to cover this, because you're not going to see it. All right? Our signature, or my signature, is going to fit in here, like that. Okay? You could put 2 signatures in if you wanted. I'm not going to. I'm just going to have one signature right there. Okay? So let's do that again. Fold your envelope back up again if you had to cut it. Well, even if you didn't have to cut it, we cut this side and this side after we covered it. So, you know, you will have to fold it back up again and fold it back up again. And there you go. And just give that a bone fold. I won't be too fussy because I can bone fold all day long off camera. But I'm just showing you. So now you have a really pretty cover. I love this. I love her paper. I really do. So now I need to cut a little bit off of here because it's just not that well, but I just need to cut a little bit off of here, okay? So I'm just gonna take my trimmer, just cut an itty bitty off. Where's my trimmer? It was right here. Oh, right beside me. So not where your flap is, the other end. Just want to take an itty bitty bit off of that. Can you see? I'll show you when I'm done. That's about it. We might have to cut a little bit more off, but I don't believe so. And the glue wasn't completely dry, so wait till your glue dries. So again, that'll go over much better. I might cut this down a little bit because this is going to be my cover, and I'm not sure if I really want, let's see. I think I'm going to cut, well, wait a minute, if I cut that, I'm going to cut it apart. So I think that will be okay. I mean, it's closing fine. I just don't know if I want my closure that wide. I think I do. Yeah, I think I do. So now we need to cover this because that's going to come like this. And that's going to be your journal. Make sense? That's going to be your journal cover. How far are we? 45? Okay, so we made the cover. What I'm going to do now is just cover this piece and this piece with whatever I want. Which, what do I have for scraps? Do I have any? I don't think I do. Like I said, this is going to get glued down. And this is going to be my cover. Wait a minute. This is going to have a pocket here. Where's my other pocket? Here. Yeah, so I have a pocket. I should have a pocket here. Yeah, I have a pocket right here. This is going to be my cover. This and this. Let's take one step at a time. Now we've covered this. We've covered this. Now we just need to cover our flap. So I'm just going to take this off. And I'm going to find a scrap, which I don't have one, so I'll have to make one. I'm going to simply put this here. I just took the tape off. I'll glue it down later because I'm keeping you too long. I'm going to glue this down. Oh, that tape's sticky. Don't do it. I don't want to waste. And I really love that. Okay. I'll have to use this side now. I shouldn't have taken that sticky off yet, but I did. So I'm just going to put this down where I want it. I think I have another piece. I did cut a lot of these background sheets. I do. So I'm going to put this, I don't want to use that for the outside. Sorry, guys. I'm going to put this up right up against that, like so. And then I'm going to take my scissors, turn it around. I do, you know, for me, figuring out what I'm going to do for a cover, it's always the hardest. So I decided I'm going to start making covers first, and then I'm going to make the rest. Now, like I said, you could fold this in half, and that could be your cover and be done. This is just a little bit more, I know you're all like, this is a lot more difficult, Cheryl. But it will be fun when we're done, I promise. It's just that right now, a lot of it's in my head more than it's in, just trying to find where that rounded part is on this piece here. It goes like so. And see these pieces up here? I can trim those because, you know, they were a little bit bigger than here. And I will trim them when I'm off camera. So if you do have a piece like that, see how it goes along just fine. Fine, fine. Well, Maybe it is fine. It is fine. Okay. So there it is. So this is going to go like this, right? Now I need to have something to cover this, which that's why I didn't use that other sheet, because I would prefer this piece here on this side. I know it's very matchy-matchy, isn't it? But I like it. You do what you like, okay? Oh, that looks nice. I'm going to do it this way because I like the way this matches up. And this is kind of more plain up here. So I'm going to do it that way. So I'm just going to now glue this down. And I'll glue the other, you know, that rest of that piece down where it didn't have any tape. I'm just going to glue this here. But I'm going to actually come over it a little bit. Okay. Am I in frame? Here we go. So I'm going to take it and I'm going over that. I'm not going up against it. I'm going over it. Here we go. And that's it. Now, I just have to take my piece here. And fold it over where I glued it. And I'm gonna have to wait a second for that to dry, because I did put a lot of glue there. I hope this is making sense. I just want to make sure this is straight, and you can do that by taking your ruler and simply placing it in here. Put it up against your line, you know, on your mat or what have you, and then just bring it to your ruler. Okay, and that way you know that this piece won't be all wonky. It'll be straight. Okay, see how easy that was? And I'll cut that in a minute after my glue dries. And all I will do, I won't even have to cut it, because I'll fold it a couple of times and then I'll take my ruler and just tear down it. And it will tear nice and straight. You can cut it, by all means, you can cut it with your scissors. But with my eyesight, yeah, no, I won't cut it. I mean, there's several ways you can cut it. I could do it, you know, put my mat underneath it, which I might do. I might put my mat underneath it and put my ruler here and take my knife and just go down this way. But I can't do it right now because my glue is really wet. So just take your fingernail or what have you, your ruler, your bone folder. I suggest a really good metal. I think everybody should have a good metal ruler anyway, or a good, you know, flat plastic ruler will work. But I like having a metal ruler in my craft room. To me, it's just easy. And I'm sorry, folks, I really don't trust cutting that yet. I'm afraid that if I do, well, I'm going to take a chance. It's only paper. So now I'm simply going to, I know that that's nice and even. I'm going to take it now, hold down my ruler nice and tight. Here I go. And now I'm going to take it and push my ruler over that way. And that doesn't bother me at all. You know, that torn look? Because you know me, there's probably going to be lace involved. So now I'll turn it over. And I'll just follow those lines again and cut that side. And it's kind of patchworky. I was going to use fabric, but then I thought, I better not. This is enough complication for anybody. Because like I said, when I was doing it, the prototype, I thought, So now, please, by all means, if you want this to be your cover, okay, like this, then by all means, that could be a beautiful cover. You do not have to do all that work if you don't want to have this centerpiece, okay? I just do want that centerpiece. So here's your envelope. You can cover this side, okay, and be done. And then, you know, cover your two ends and put your signature in. And you have an adorable little cover. But I'm not. That's why I opened up the two, you know, the top and the bottom, because I did want this piece, and I do want a pocket here, and I do want a pocket here. Okay? I mean here. Not here, because that's going to be my cover. And you'll see it better when I come back. Okay? So that's all you do. Here is your envelope. If it's not 8.5 by 11, cut it. I just have to glue that. Cut it down to 8.5 by 11, and then do what I did. So there's your envelope, okay? I won't even show you that one. That's my prototype. It's got writing all over it. But nothing is buckling. Nothing is, you know, I'm fine. I just have to glue that down because I just put it on the tape. So there you go. I only opened it at the top and the bottom so that I could have this extra piece so it would be wide open. But again, that's your envelope. Once you slice it here and here, then it's going to open up like this. That's all. Okay? So there's the cover to our new journal, and I hope you liked it. I just love Daisy. Thank you so much, Daisy, if you're watching. That is upside down. Thank you so much, Daisy, if you're watching. My journal's going to go there. And then we're going to close it up. And I'll show you the pockets and things like that tomorrow. Okay? So there it is. And like I said, if you don't want to do that third part, then by all means, take an envelope. Cut it down 8.5 by 11. Cover it, done. Okay? Don't slice it or anything. Just cut both sides. And you have a really cute cover. So you can do it two ways. All right? And if you have any questions, please leave them in the description box below. I'll go over it again, the base, like I just did in my prototype. I'll go over the base again with you tomorrow before we get going. And I'll tell you about my other things tomorrow, about my craft room. And when we had the hurricane, we had damage in here. And the damage wasn't fixed properly, not by us, by the contractor. And I have damage to the wall. So I have to empty it again so that the damage can be repaired. And yeah. So my husband's picking up some moving boxes, and I will be packing like I'm moving. But it's not a big deal. Just one of those things, right? So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, please, please visit Daisy. If you, you know, it's Shabby Chic by Daisy USA, Instagram, and then French Cottage Shabby on Facebook. I'll leave all the information in the description box below. But do go visit. She's very sweet. All right, y'all. Oh, and visit Tommy. She's got a great channel. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.